Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Fourth and Neat, our second episode in 2026. I am Fred Minnick, joined by the great Pro Football Hall of Famer and former Minnesota Vikings, Jared Allen. What's up, brother?
What's up? How's it going? Happy New Year again.
Yes.
Listen, we this is constantly a learning process for us, So I want to apologize to everybody for the last episode where you saw a lot of my face.
Listen,
my wife told me there was way too much face. So I'm gonna back it up a little bit, show these broad shoulders.
You say that, but our female demographic jumped 30%. So everybody was like, "Oh, can we get more of Jared's face?
More face? Like that dude's nostrils are like.
Can we get more of that schnoz?
Schnoz.
And they're like less of Fred.
Oh, excuse me.
More Jared. It's like more cowbell on Saturday Night Live.
You know what? You got to have more cowbell. I got a fever, and the only cure is more cowbell.
Is that not the greatest? Is that not the greatest Saturday Night Live skit of all time?
Oh, great! You know which one I was doing the other day? Do you remember when Will Ferrell and they were the cheerleaders and they were at the swim meet? They're like, taco, burrito, what's that coming out your Speedo? I said that, and the whole family looked at me like I was crazy.
Man,
but, dude, there was nothing better than like late 90s, early 2000s SNL, dude. Get back to that.
Chris Farley.
Dude, I heard a thing that the whole Chippendales thing was like completely kind of, freelanced.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think it's one of the greatest skits ever.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Farley was such a dynamic comedian like that. There were so many funny people back then.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Norm MacDonald.
Oh yeah.
Norm MacDonald. Can we talk about, what was it? Not Men at Work. What was the one where he had like a revenge business? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember that.
Oh my gosh. Freaking hilarious.
And then Phil Hartman. Phil Hartman was hilarious.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of tragedy.
Yeah.
I feel like the comedian world is kind of like, maybe it's because they're ultra creative, but I feel like they got a lot of demons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They have, that's their expression. It's their way to get it out.
I guess. Yeah. Laugh at me because I'm depressed.
Now the modern comedian is like all jumping into politics. It's like both sides. That's like, man, what happened to making fun of like standing in line at Walmart?
Everybody making fun of everybody. That is why I love Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle makes fun of everybody.
He goes for it
and goes hard at it. Like, unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We know who we saw. We went to a comedy show recently. I can't remember the guy's name, but he makes these. He's big on TikTok or whatever, or Instagram. Sorry, not TikTok. I don't even know what TikTok is, but he makes these funny videos. Just making fun of like house moms and teenage kids and all these things. Not Nate Bargatze guy. I can't remember the guy's name. I'll have to get the name. But we went to his show, and my wife followed him on Instagram, so I was like, oh, we'll see how it is. But I'll tell you what, he had two openers, and then him, I was in tears. I mean, gut wrenching, laughing, and it was fantastic. And then I guess I always like it too when comedians push the inappropriateness of politically incorrect a little bit.
Yeah,
and when you don't expect it from them. Oh my gosh. It was like, I did not see that one coming. Didn't see that one coming. And
it
was great. It was fantastic.
There is a movement of that style of comedy. I went to,
but all without cussing. That's what I appreciated too.
So Jim Gaffigan is the ultimate non-cussing comedian.
Like there's a place for again, for some reason when Dave Chappelle says it, I'm all in, right? For guys got me hooked. But when other people are just swearing up there, to me, it loses its luster.
Well, I gotta tell you.
Speaking of losing luster.
Yeah.
The bloody week or so for the NFL.
I mean, people getting fired that I just would never have thought would have gotten fired.
If Mike Tomlin can't keep his job after winning the division and making it, no one's safe. Nobody is safe. Nobody is safe.
Harbaugh,
no one's safe.
I feel like Tomlin's was a kind of like, I think that guy heard his name from the crowd and like how the fans like turned on him. And I think that guy probably went home as just like, I can't do this anymore. If these people hate me now, I got to go.
Yeah.
No, I honestly, I don't have any inside information. I'm not talking to anyone there, but just like the human element of it all, like the Steelers fans, like I have a lot of friends who are Steelers fans and they hated him. I'm like, man, he always wins. And it's like this guy, if any other coach had the same scenario that he's had since Big Ben, you all would be 3-13 or 3-14 every year.
Yep.
That dude
100%.
wins despite having quarterback play.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It is. And, I think what you saw there, what I saw when I watched that game was that an O-line that was just getting obliterated. That offense looked old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And again, I don't know, when you're getting that obliterated throwing the ball, you have to run the ball. That little number 30, Warren, that dude pops off like 7 yards of carry. Every time I watch the Steelers play, that guy is running hard. I would run that guy 40 times a game. But that to me, the offense looked old, right? They looked slow. But part of that was that they were just getting decimated up front. I mean, Houston was killing them in a 4-man rush. Anytime you can rush 4, and then if you ever blitz, everybody's getting home. If you're getting home that easy with 4, then you got no chance on anything else. So, I thought Pittsburgh defense played good until you couldn't, right? You know what I mean? Like at some point you're just like, my goodness, how often are we going to be on this field?
Mm-hmm.
And you start slowing down. And they had the takeaways, but they, clearly the offense wasn't capitalizing on it. But yeah, I just, my old D-line coach Carl Dunbar's there. Tomlin, I've known him via other people, not directly for so many years, but so much respect for him because people I respect the hell out of him. And you see players love him. And his style, his directness, and kudos to him. If he saw it as, I love this organization so much, and I've taken them as far as I can. If never having a losing season over 19 years, if winning the division and getting to the playoffs isn't good enough, well then let someone else shake it. And I think what you're seeing around the league is you're seeing a lot of these younger, again, the game gets younger, right? Because you got the kids coming in from college, you got younger head coaches, younger OCs coming in, and people see these flashy plays and they see, some of these teams scoring. They're not looking at the completeness of the team, right? But we'll see. But Pittsburgh, I feel like they'll get it right because they're not one of those, organizations.
Well, you know who they're going after.
Chin's over.
You know who they're going after, right?
I saw that they were looking at the OC of the Rams, maybe.
No. You're not going to like this. They're going after Brian Flores.
Oh, honestly, I text Flo right after the season. I was like, bro, what we got to do to keep you? Like, and you know what? And it's funny because Alex Karalexis, we had him on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a diehard Steelers fan. And that's the first thing he texted me. Hey, can we get Flo? Can Flo come coach here? So listen, I'm a big fan of Brian Flores. I really am. He's very Tomlin-esque in the way he has a relationship with the players. I think he just, Flores, his defense really is an extension of him. You see his personality, his passion, his everything. That would be good. But I think what you have to have good defense in Pittsburgh, right? But I think the challenge with great defensive coordinators taking over as head coach is you have to find that ability to hire an insanely good offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah. Well, the guy who replaced him in Miami, Capri Pants, is open. The Captain Capri Pants. Yeah, Mike MacDonald. He could be the offensive coordinator.
Is it MacDonald? What's his?
Yeah, it's Mike MacDonald.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
I don't think that's correct. It's Mike something. MacDonald is Seattle's head coach, right?
That's it's Mike McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel. We're thinking Norm MacDonald. Norm MacDonald.
Hey, listen, we're not here for facts. We're not here to provide.
Our facts are loose. This is like a loose faction. Listen, we're like the SNL news desk.
Hey, listen. If Stephen A. Smith,
facts are woven in, and
if Stephen A. Smith can call Christian Kirk Charlie Kirk, then we're okay, right?
Yeah, so I read that. I read that. Goodness, people are gonna be outraged.
Yeah, they were very upset about that.
Man, people get outraged over everything these days, don't they?
Everything, yeah.
Oh, the sensitivity level of our society is just freaking ridiculous. Or is it that the sensitive people are just getting all the attention?
I thought about this the other day. Like, I was watching a homeless dude with his pants down, his butt was showing, and he was pushing a cart. And this guy had a phone while he was pushing the cart. And I was just thinking to myself, this dude could be dropping troll comments and totally lighting someone up. and they're going to give him all the respect in the world online. And this dude can't even keep his pants up while he's like pushing a cart across the street in 40-degree weather. So I'm like, I feel like that's like a lot of people who we would look at in a room and say like, I have no care what your opinion is. Go live your life. But if you have an opinion toward me, I do not care. Those people get online and they suddenly like care what they think. And they
Just be
build
like,
and build and build.
I genuinely don't care. If you're not my wife and kids, I don't care what you think.
Yeah. That's fair. The good news is your wife and kids keep you in check, and they will.
They do. If I didn't have them, I would be saying a lot of stuff that I probably would not be politically correct. And my opinion would be a lot stronger in terms of a lot of things.
There'd be less guardrails.
There'd be a lot of people out there like, maybe this guy needs to check it. No, I'm with you, dude. And can we just talk about the homeless dude having a cell phone? Like,
that's.
What?
Yeah.
I'm watching that, dude. Honestly, I can't do it. In Nashville, dude is turned into a beggar on every freaking corner.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. You know what? Like, it's just.
Are they like on the road signs, like, or on the corners?
It's the same one.
They
have like group, like they're in groups and they own these corners. And it was like, well, we had a really, really cold night, some months ago, or I guess, probably about a month ago, where we were in like the teens. And these dudes had like brand new Carhartts and, boots. And I'm like, clearly you're not struggling, like clearly you can go get a job. One time I was driving to Target and no joke, person standing on the corner outside Target holding a sign, needy thing. And there's a big sign in the window at Target saying we're hiring. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go grab an application and give it to him on the way back out. I'm like the whole, and I get it. There's reasons why, there's a multitude of reasons why people are homeless, why people are out there. The people that seem physically able, right? And like, just, I'm like, come on, dude. The whole, I just, again, and I struggle with, because as a Christian, I want to help people, but also then there's, I have biblical principles I like to live by. It says, don't be a burden to others, and to take care of your own house. Like it says to take care of your own house and your own family. And to work. And I don't know. That's what we've turned into. And and I'm going on a rant, but, and then they do this. They're begging money, but then you see them like they're sitting there texting. They're texting their other friend, like, hey, or they got a pile of Mountain Dew. They got like a 30-pack of Mountain Dew. And I'm just like, really? Really? Mountain Dew, McDonald's, and meth. That's what we're rolling with. Okay. Let's just put it out there.
So they're I've seen them like, get out and go into cars, and like it is a network, and it's like they often are a part of like organized retail crime gangs. I covered this a long time ago, back when I used to write for a retail magazine, and they're all very much associated, and they will travel in like herds and move from city to city. So some of that is like that. Now, I will tell you, there are homeless people where like you can see, and they are different. Like they are truly, genuinely down. And man, I've given them money.
Yeah.
I've given them money because
I've done it.
or I've bought them food,
Yeah. See, that's what I like, going that route, buying them something, giving them clothes. Kind of thing. I will say, so here around Nashville, they got these, so a lot of the home, you can, and I don't know if they're homeless, but they're very low income people, right? And they sell papers. They sell newspapers, right? And so what they'll basically buy the newspapers for 25 cents a paper, and then they sell them for like $1 or $2 a paper, right? And all the respect in the world for those guys, because they're trying. It's something so silly. It's a newspaper. No one needs a newspaper. Every time I see them, I'll buy a stack of them, right? Or I'll just here's $20. I don't even need the paper. Go back and resell it.
Are you sure they didn't steal them from the
other people? No, because it's the same. It's usually the same guys, right? And they're not they're not sitting there berating people. They got their corner. They got their little vest, and they're just waving, smiling. And I forget the name. I forget the name of the paper.
You know what? If you say a certain word, though, that paper will have like a little crack in it. So I mean, that could be a setup there, Jared.
You say the wrong word, you get a dime bag.
You get a dime bag, and like Hey, man. And then suddenly you're on the 10 o'clock news. Jared Allen buying crack from a local street vendor. I thought I was just helping a homeless guy.
No, but those guys, my point is, don't think that they're trying, right? That's an actual something. They're not just sitting there begging, and that's just drives me nuts. Is able-bodied people begging drive me bonkers, especially when they have cell phones and brand new Carhartt jackets and Timberlakes or Red Wings or whatever.
It's all protected by our beloved First Amendment. So
it really is.
Yeah, it was upheld by the Supreme Court.
Speaking of the First Amendment, when's the last time you read the Constitution?
I actually probably a year or two ago. Like I was really, I was really into it.
I got one of my favorite Christmas gifts this year was I got a little mini Constitution.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I've never actually fully read it.
By the way, did you know one of the conspiracy theories out there is that AI identified it as being written by AI, the Constitution. It's been debunked, but like all conspiracy theories.
Well, they had AI back in 19.
Well, that goes with the whole time traveler thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
And again, maybe Thomas Jefferson was an alien.
I mean, he could have been an alien.
Maybe Herbie Hancock was an alien.
I feel so. We don't know. When it comes to the founders,
I'm disappointed.
I did get the Herbie Hancock.
Okay. Well, someone's gonna be like, that's John Hancock. That was a Chris Farley reference.
We shout out to Chris Farley. May he rest in peace. Fat guy in a little coat. But I go with the time traveler thing. I mean, it is possible. And by the way, Candace Owens came out yesterday or a couple days ago and said that Charlie Kirk was a time traveler.
No, she didn't.
And she did.
Dude, I'll be honest. I was getting all the Candace Owens things like in my news feed about that, with what was going on with the Charlie Kirk thing and her and Erica Kirk. And ever since they had their talk,
right,
I get nothing. Right. So I'm like, I'm sorry. I do feel like, and this is my own personal conspiracy, but it's probably not a conspiracy. It's legit, I think. But I feel like the whole media thing is intertangled and they just try to be the puppeteers, right, of what information they're feeding people. But yeah, like all of a sudden they have a conversation and now we don't get opinions anymore. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden the algorithms change.
Yep.
Wait, hold up.
Yeah.
So now I got to get back into it. A time traveler.
Yeah, I feel it's exactly what I thought. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, the meeting they had, she's going so far away that she's completely discrediting herself from anything in the future.
Yeah, there's people. That's what I get. So like, I'll be honest. I wasn't a huge Tucker guy while he was at Fox. I would say I liked Tucker before he took over for Bill O'Reilly, right? Just because I thought, he was a little abrasive, but he was very intelligent, obviously hyper intelligent guy, right? And approached facts kind of in just like kind of mundane, like kind of pointed, effort or whatever. But then I thought it got inflammatory, right? Like, Sean Hannity's and all that stuff. It got a little inflammatory for me. So I was like, I'm done with it. But then I heard, I caught a couple of episodes of his podcast and really I saw him. It was, it was after Charlie Kirk passed. I had some people send me a couple of things. And I was like, oh, dude, now I feel like this dude is an unbiased, journalism, right? You know what I mean? Like it felt real again, right? Like, I'm not sure if you saw his podcast, his interview with Ted Cruz. Right. And I was like, oh, dude, he called Ted Cruz the carpet, right? About like, the difference between biblical Israel and, current modern day political Israel. And it was a great, and Tucker was like, as a Christian, like, why are we having these debates? Yada, yada, yada. But anyways, and it doesn't matter if you agree or disagree with the content of the podcast. The point of it, what I'm trying to make is that it wasn't like Republican, Democrat. You know what I mean? It was very, in my opinion, nonpartisan, unbiased, like, hey, I got questions. I want some answers, right? And I appreciate things like that. And I used to think that Candace Owens to me was that, kind of when the whole, I don't even know when the movement, when she came to the forefront, I was like, oh, this is kind of refreshing, right? Someone kind of speaking their mind, kind of like not touting party lines. But then somehow, again, it's like, it's like the shock jock syndrome comes and you get more clicks, you get more followers for saying crazy things. And then I get to the point where like, ooh, what can I believe? What can't I believe? Like, I don't know. I just hold that saying, and you as a journalist know that. I wish journalism still had that raw, unbiased, just information giving. You know what I mean? And so, like you said, when people start throwing things out, like, all of a sudden, you're staunch one way, you have a meeting, and then your opinion changes. Now you're going to throw out time traveler. I'm like,
Yeah,
really?
she said she felt like
Really?
an alien, and like so, like I mean, she's kind of like she's like it's like she watched our Swerdlow,
That's what I was about
episode.
to say.
Yeah.
That's what I was, oh.
So anyway,
but
you know,
check it out now. But what if you and I literally are breaking the news about time traveling?
I mean, we
What
could
if
be.
What if Swerdlow was right? What if he's
Yeah.
100% right? What if Montauk Project is right? And by the way, guess what the new Stranger Things series is supposed to be coming out? They're doing a spinoff on it, I heard.
What's
called
it
the
going to be?
Montauk Project.
Is it really? Okay.
That's the rumor on the streets. I don't know if it's true or not. That's what the 14-year-olds are saying in the hood.
Well,
if that's the case, I'm like, he's got my vote. He's got my vote for being ripped off. He's got my vote.
Well, you know what's crazy is like he's sold a lot of books because of it, so I think he's probably okay. You know,
man. Well, he's a busy man. He's a busy man.
They should have paid for his film rights.
Right.
But,
right.
Maybe they are.
Can we just talk about, though, how we went from talking about some head coaches that got fired, and now we're talking about Dr. Swerdlow again, and Candace only thinking Charlie Kirk was an alien or a time traveler.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
we are on a slippery slope. I love it.
We have no guy.
We have no structure. We have no producer structuring this, people.
At all.
No. I hope you guys like it. This is just the workings of Fred and I's brain, and you guys are along for the ride.
Raw and unfiltered. And by the way, I will say I have such a fun time just doing these stupid conversations. It's like it's actually
therapeutic.
I was gonna say it's therapeutic.
Therapeutic, buddy. People just need to talk, and if we can bring some joy to others on some senseless, maybe factual, maybe. And listen, I hope people realize, like, when we do give certain facts, like, we get serious, but most of the time we just like to have some fun, some opinionated, factual conversations.
All right, so here's let's stay in the conspiracy lane. But let's bring. We got
to get back to the football and the head coaches and all that. We got to talk about that. I got some things to say. Okay,
so do you want to go? You want to go down the coaching road, or do you want to go to this new conspiracy that's out with the 49ers?
No, we're on the conspiracy. Let's go. Let's just see where it leads us. We got to stay on.
So there's a new conspiracy out with the 49ers. It's an EMF conspiracy theory. A theory popularized by a self-proclaimed scientist and some social media content creators. Always coming back to the social media. Suggests that chronic exposure to low-frequency electromagnetic fields from a nearby power substation is the cause of the San Francisco 49ers' high rate of injuries, particularly Achilles and other tendon ruptures. Proponents of the theory point to the fact that the team has been among the most injured in the NFL since moving to the practice facility next to Levi Stadium in Santa Clara.
Right. So they're saying there's high frequency. So there's
electromagnetic field coming from like a power station kind of thing.
So they're too close to a power station.
Yeah.
And there's EMFs coming off of there.
Yeah.
And it's causing their tendons to rupture. I mean, I don't know. I have to go down the rabbit hole of what EMFs can do to the body. But now think about this. Now we do know for a fact that there was a weaponized sound or tone or frequency used in Cuba against diplomats years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah,
like people were getting really sick over that, and bad things were happening. So I don't know. I don't know how an EMF would weaken your tendon structures, right?
Mm-hmm.
And especially when I think Kittle tore it on the road, but maybe it's a weakening of it over time. I don't know. Maybe it's a molecular thing. I'd be honest. I don't really have an opinion because I don't know enough about that. Now, if they said they had a higher rate of cancer, I would be like, okay. That makes sense. EMFs or people were getting sick, like physically sick. I would say, okay, maybe that makes sense.
Now, there have been some radiologists who came out against it, but like I will say this, like anytime someone comes out against one of these theories, like I just completely dismiss them, like debunking it because
it's too quick. Like you're not even willing to have a conversation. It's just like, no.
It's like, no, that's impossible due to this 1995 study of mice.
They do have this is actually factual that you can check it. But and this was kind of like another one of those Aaron Brockovich things, but the big high frequency power lines, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they know actually like 700 feet is like the considered safe zone. And every 100 feet you live. So every 100 feet closer that a kid lives to those growing up, they had a much higher rate of brain cancer and different things happening. And there was literally every 100 feet, the number stepped down. I think they said 700 feet was is the safe range on that. But so, I mean, there's those tests are out there. Right. And that, power plants are putting off, obviously you have non-ionized ions and all that stuff like that. Right. So it's you do have EMFs, you do have, radiation coming off of those things. That's a fact. So who knows? Maybe there is a low level of something concerning it. Who wrote the article?
So it just basically some scientist dude came out with the theory. And then, as like anything, it caught like lightning on social media, and people started going, flipping it, and then it actually got like all kinds of widespread attention. I will say that FedEx Field, Washington, had like a little spot in it where there were like all of these like torn ACLs and injuries. I do believe that certain fields have more. People are more prone to injury, and also like the turf that they've come out with. I like the old grass. I'm like, why can't they just play on grass?
100%. I couldn't agree more with you. Listen, turf is a very consistent field, but like everything, there's pros and cons, right? Like the chance of your foot getting stuck with a more consistent playing field and the ability for the grass not to give out, turf's not going to give out. I mean, the ability for your foot to get stuck on there is going to happen. But I think Philly has grass, right?
I think Philly had. Let me go to the Google. Does Philadelphia?
But yeah, I mean, dude, I think you should go back to natural grass. To be honest with you, that's part of the game, and I get it that people they're trying to control. They obviously want better footage. Philly has grass, though, right?
Philly has grass. Yep.
So I mean, there's a counter argument right there, right? George got hurt on grass. So, and again, it's just what I think part of it is too. You got to remember, like, these guys, every year it gets, you're bigger, faster, stronger. Guys are finding new ways to train. The body can only handle so much strain and so much stress, right? And it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
George is a great guy. And, just this, I'm actually getting texts as we're speaking of some new stuff going on in the curling world, which George Kittle loves curling. All right. Him and I are actually partners in a curling group up out of Canada that owns the Grand Slams of curling.
My God, you two together, I bet just.
Oh, dude, hilarious. He lives in Nashville. Dude, he curls in clubs. He curls in leagues on Monday.
That's awesome.
So I'll show this. Team Schuster is under some fire, I guess, for they went sleeveless at a later competition. They cut the sleeves off their uniform, and the CEO of our company is sending this to me right now, and it says, this is one of the comments someone wrote. The Schuster team from the U.S. are totally disgusting. So this was obviously in a world event. Sleeveless, hairy armpits, tattoos, earrings. I think I'm watching a wrestling match.
Yes!
It is time to put your foot down and end all this garbage. I will accept earrings and tattoos as that has become a new thing, but sleeveless and hairy armpits on a curling sheet on TV is totally unacceptable. That's hairy armpits got mentioned twice in this comment. They look absolutely ridiculous. Did some guys just crawl out of their dive bar after pulling an all-nighter? What's next? Taking swigs out of a Colt 45 between throwing rocks?
So
it is unbelievable that there is no dress code. Perhaps it is never needed until now. Leave it to the Americans to do so unprofessionally and disrespectful to the sport. So this is clearly, I don't know where this was at. This had to be one of the Grand Slams. Man, that is freaking great. I love it. I think it's great. But yeah, again, remember we just talked about people getting super offended?
Okay, this guy is wanting a dress code for international curling events, and he's calling out Americans for having hairy armpits. What dude in the world doesn't have hairy armpits?
But you got to keep them covered. You got to keep the armpits covered.
What's wrong with having a hairy armpit? Like, for real, that's like...
Sorry, we all got hairy armpits.
Yeah, it's not like, look, I understand, like,
tattoos and earrings are okay, but the hairy armpits, I drop my line at hairy armpits.
You know what it is? I think the guy's attracted to men with hairy armpits, and he doesn't want to be...
It doesn't say if this was a guy or a girl who wrote
that. It's totally a guy. A woman would never be that offended over something like that.
Over cut-off sleeves and hairy armpits.
I am convinced that dudes are becoming more sensitive than women right now.
Oh, for sure. Because we got everybody's testosterone is low, right? Feeding us food with testosterone blockers and all this nonsense. Honestly, we're literally, think about the men of today. Like, let's cut it at 30. Let's say 30-year-olds.
All right, 30-year-olds. Yeah.
Think of the majority of 30-year-old men that you know today versus like when our grandparents were 30, or even our parents.
So I've got a story to share with you.
Like, you know what I mean? That was just a tougher generation. Like, that were like men's men. Like, they were.
But the dudes who put focus on 30 at that age, who put focus on fitness and everything, they're the same, if not more technically advanced. You know, I would say, like, some of the grapplers and fighters and wrestlers, those kinds of people, like, they're fine.
I'm talking about like the mindset. You know what I'm saying? The mentality of a man back then is totally different, in my opinion, than majority. I'm saying majority. Obviously, there's loopholes and everything, right? It's how it's the evolution of how you're raised, right? You know, like my great grandfather obviously was going to be, you know, my grandfather was going to be raised a certain way and blah 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 blah. So it gets passed down the line. But when you get into a society full of gray areas. When you get into society that's run by feelings, well, I feel this way today, or, you know what I mean, versus like right and wrong, black and white. Like, that's where you start, and you start seeing the shift in that culture. And at some point, people, we're talking about men, the ability to want to do hard things, in my opinion, has gone down further, right? Because now you have instant gratification, you have all this stuff. So I can sit there and think about conversations with my grandfather when I was younger, when he was younger, or just seeing pictures or knowing his life story, knowing how my dad was raised, knowing how I was raised, right? And even my friends in different, that had, parents in different business worlds, right? I was raised on a ranch. My one buddy's dad, was our pastor growing up. And you want to talk about, he might have had it tougher than we did. You know what I mean? It was just, there was staunch, like, there were certain things men were responsible for and had to do. Right. And I think that's kind of gone by the wayside these days. So you get people, I feel like doing this. I feel like this. I feel like, and then you have this degradation. Then everybody's all sensitive and everybody gets their feelings hurt. And then you can't actually settle things anymore. Right. You can't actually go out and be like, okay, this has gotten to a point, we're gonna exert some testosterone here and punch each other in the face. Now, you're gonna go to jail for that. You're gonna get sued for that. So, like you said, everybody sits there with their thumbs and wants to say crap and do things, and there's no repercussions for your actions. And I don't know. I feel like it's just led to a lesser quality of person.
I will say that we are seeing some good scraps on the streets. That's one of the things that pops up in my Instagram feed. I'm not on it, so I don't know. I've never. There's some. Wherever there's a fight, I feel like every fight gets recorded today, and I like watching them because I like.
So you're saying I'm wrong in my thought process. So maybe it's just the 30-year-olds I see around here.
I would say there's still a lot of scrapping going on, but I have a theory. I have a theory on why a lot of things are the way they are. Even when we were like, if people didn't grow up on a ranch or a farm or something like that, they usually grew up in somewhere where they had an acre or something like that, unless they lived in the city. Now, everyone, even myself, live in like a suburban area where you don't have a yard. You have like a lot. You're covered with sidewalks. You can walk around. Everything's very urban-y. And when you do that, you take away a lot of like responsibilities, like simple things like, like having an animal to take care of. Like, you can't have chickens in a suburban area. Like, you can't have a pig. You can't,
barely have a dog.
You even like taking care of your yard. Sometimes your HOA takes care of all that. It's like the things that can help someone become a boy to a man, the responsibilities are taken away with the environments we are going to, because the houses are what we want to live in. And they're nice houses.
Yeah.
But
that's what I say. It's that almost that instant gratification, right? When people start doing things for you, there's no need for self-reliance anymore, self-preservation, and that's
absolutely.
You saw it during COVID. The run on the stores for toilet paper the panic for toilet paper, I lost my mind. I'm like, you guys know you could just get in the shower.
Spread them cheeks. Which, by the way,
but again, my point is like people are so reliant on others to do things for them that we've lost our way. And I think that's kind of, we're kind of saying the same thing. From
hey, listen, I got to give a shout out to our new toilet paper. It's awesome.
Is it?
We use organic bamboo toilet paper.
Yes.
And it's so incredible.
Yes, it's the best.
You use organic bamboo toilet paper too?
Absolutely. Do you know how many chemicals? You know how many chemicals are in like regular toilet paper?
Well, I saw the South Park episode of big toilet paper.
Yeah, I'll send you there's a article about why you should use a bidet, and it goes through the dangers of toilet paper. But that's why we use organic bamboo toilet paper.
So a bidet though is going to take up, it's a reconstruction of the whole.
And I can't get. Oh no, they have ones now. You can it's like a $30 Amazon buy. You just attach to your toilet.
Yeah, it's silly.
I don't know though. I just have a hard time getting water shut up my backside.
Yeah,
and then you have a wet butt. Then how you then your butt's wet. And now what? Now what am I doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your butt's wet. You gotta strap up with the underwear with the little butt strip.
Then I gotta use toilet paper anyways. And now the toilet paper's wet, which now it means I got crumbles in my butt. You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of wet butt.
No, or the crumbles. Or what if you're what if you you're wearing shorts and you walk into a store and a little drip of the butt juice comes down.
Water, right? You could make bourbon with that.
You can make bourbon with butt juice. And now I'd love for you to smell the bouquet of Jared Allen's butt.
Is that peanut?
Get a little hint of pine
is
nut.
Is that kale? I got a little kale.
Wait, is that marzipan?
By the way, did I tell you what I got for Christmas? Yeah, I got chocolate with marzipan inside of it, and we all had a great laugh. And we thought of you on Christmas Day.
I love it.
And I'll be honest, delicious.
Yeah,
and you're right. And you're right. It's more than just almond paste.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And then I thought of your memory of when you had marzipan in France, and I was like, and I wasn't even there, but I was there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm here for it.
Chocolate covered marzipan. Big fan.
All right, so
big fan.
Let's jump into. Did you want to talk any more about the coaches? So the coaches get fired?
You know what? I think that's a crazy. I think 9, 10.
Yeah, 9. Well, I guess 10 if you count. Steve.
Yeah. So what I would hope would happen then, right? And I think this is kind of my gripe with the NFL, right? It's constantly like a recycling of coaching. And I get sometimes it's just not the right fit. Like clearly Harbaugh is going to get another job, right?
Yeah, he's about to go with the Giants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's probably a really great fit for them because, in New York City, you need someone that just knows this league. Tomlin, if he wants another job, he's going to get another job, right? I think guys like Stefanski, Cleveland being tough. But what you see some of these guys, you take the guy in Miami, you take these guys, who kind of had all the resources, and you have that. You look, I always look at it liken it to Josh McDaniels. That dude has failed every time as a head coach.
Miserably.
Horribly.
He was the Tebow guy.
He's one of the greatest offensive coordinators ever. Look what he's doing down there with Drake May down in New England, right? So it's like that dude clearly has a defined role. You're an offensive coordinator. So some of these guys might come back and be great offensive coordinator. And talking about Brian Flores, like so much respect for him when he lost the job in Miami, right? This dude goes back and does what he knows how to do, coach great defenses for, a handful of years. And now he's probably going to get another shot at being a head coach, right? And you hope, you learn from whatever mistakes or
is his lawsuit finalized?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But, all I know is the dude can coach the heck out of a defense, and he's a great dude. So I root for his success. But I think that's what I'm curious to see how this cycle goes, right? Like, because they typically go the same way. You either start recycling head coaches and you're trying to piece things together, or you go completely new and fresh and young. I really think, teams need to look at, again, it seems like if everything's going to be centered around a quarterback, make sure you have a good a head coach that has either a heck of a quarterback coach and offensive coordinator coming with them, or that he knows this stuff on that side of the ball. And but it'll be interesting to see, because I'm curious if it's a complete shakeup where you got a whole bunch of new guys. Like I heard Freeman's name from Notre Dame being thrown around.
By the way, he got in a scuffle at a wrestling tournament.
Fake news. He got.
Yeah, I saw that he got exonerated, but the guy who made the claim against him was like an All-American wrestler from Purdue, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, you're not a guy that like, you're not a sensitive guy.
He went to Purdue. Well, clearly he is. His son must have lost the wrestling match or something.
That was a shocker to me. Like,
yeah, and I said that. I guess the video came out. He's like, we didn't even touch the guy.
Yeah, it was a nothing burger, really.
Yeah, again, but look at people trying. He was trying to get a payday.
It's disappointing, I think.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. I thought those Indiana folks had a little bit more character to them.
Yeah. Well,
hey, everybody's surprised these days.
I can tell you this: they're not good drivers over here from Kentucky. When you see an Indiana plate, you're like, "Ooh, we got to back off here."
Can't be any worse than Nashville. They call it Crashville, USA, for that reason.
Well, Nashville's because everyone's just came from like some kind of music event or something. They're all hopped up on something.
They're all hopped up. These whippersnappers. All right, yeah. So I don't know what's going on, dude. I think the NFL is going to. I think you know what I love about when a whole bunch of coaches get fired from the NFL. It makes it for a fun off season.
That's true. Everyone, the Chicago Bears ruined it for everyone too.
The NFL stays relevant. Oh yeah, look at that. But that was a great hire. Speaking of, you can go back to conspiracy theories too. I got a text from an old teammate of mine, John Welborn, and supposedly a former player came out on Instagram and said that he received a script one time during training camp for the year and was told to stick to it. So he texted me if I had ever gotten a script, and I was like, no, I probably would have, I guess it would have been nice if I did. Maybe save myself some injuries and some heartache. Maybe save myself some heartache on games we lost if I knew it was coming in advance.
Yeah, there was that running back. Gosh,
Larry
Foster.
Johnson.
Was it
Larry Johnson from the Chiefs. He was accusing the NFL of sniping, like killing people. Craziness. Yeah, but I'd throw that in there to spark those conspiracy theories again. I'll tell you who the guy was. I pull it up. Well,
yeah, Aaron Foster.
Oh, Aaron Foster's on that too. Aaron Foster, he's a flat earther. I think Aaron Foster's a flat earther too. Google that.
Flat earther. I'm not seeing on flat earth. Yeah, he's a climate denier and flat earther.
Yeah. Again, people lose me on the flat earth theory.
Yeah, we literally have photos.
Yeah, I'm willing to entertain some stuff. Flat earth, not really so much. Yeah. So this guy is Tennessee Titans quarterback Darrell Baker Jr. admits he was giving a script during camp for the entire season in order to follow it. I don't know. That's what was texted me.
That looked like a Tinder profile. Not that I've ever been on Tinder, but like that was like, he's like,
just a thirst trap. NFL scripted, everybody. Yeah, so I'm curious to find out more about that now. Maybe
I will say,
I know what. Maybe we should reach out and get him on the. That's what we're gonna do.
Let's get him on the show.
So let's just get him on the show and ask because I played 12 years, never once given a script, asking about a script, never once in TV production meetings was there any thought of any of that. And the guys that I was battling against, clearly we were not. Not trying to help each other. We were at each other's throats. So I'm curious to see, when did this shift? Do only certain people get scripts? You know what I mean? And then if that's the case, why would they leave evidence behind?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm watching season 4 of Jack Ryan, which I got a lot, dude. We got to get into that.
Yeah.
I feel like Jack Ryan is the new Simpsons. Simpsons.
He called the Venezuela stuff.
Do the Venezuela stuff. And then the following year was about, season 3 was about like Russia, Ukraine, Czechoslovakia, in the Americas going at, and you're like, ooh, this seems very like this could be legit. And now,
there's another show called The Diplomat. They called Greenland, the stuff going on over the Greenland, because it's like it's like the only place that can launch like certain missiles to us. So they called that like a couple years ago.
I'm telling you, this time back to time travel, back to Dr. Swirlo. We got to get down this rabbit hole more.
Well, let's jump into bourbon for a second.
Yes,
how's your brand going?
Good. You know what? All of our stuff is sitting over at. I'm literally waiting for everything to get repackaged over at Speakeasy, and then we're gonna release those 228 bottles. You know,
So are you feel like you've got those sold? Are you gonna make a big push on it? You got an online campaign? What's
yeah.
cooking?
So
You gonna do
yeah,
an
we
event?
got a. No, so it's our Hall of Fame, as you know, it's our Hall of Fame batch.
Mm-hmm.
And why we were waiting for our 115 to get, actually why we were waiting for our glass, all true, full transparency, waiting for our glass to get in, waiting for our canisters to get in. We had this, we had about 228 bottles left over from our Hall of Fame bottling run. And again, just, the samples I'd given out to people, a lot of great feedback. So we said, you know what? So we made a canister for it. I signed them all just kind of as a kickoff, letting everybody know what we're doing. Just, obviously highly small batch. So we do that. And we have a little, little Instagram video of it. And then just, we've been filming kind of our whole blending process and processes over the years. So we got a short little clip on that. Yeah. And I feel like those are going to sell quick, right? These, they'll probably go to Vikings fans or, stuff like that. Hopefully bourbon, enthusiasts.
Well, I'll tell everyone. I just dropped my top 100 today. At the time of this recording, it's not actually dropped. By the time this comes out, it'll be dropped. But that was worthy. It would have made my list. It would have made my list if it came out last year.
Yes.
So that's yes. Like, I just want people to know, like, it's yes. that kind of quality. And Jared will tell you, we had an honest heart-to-heart conversation about the first batch.
Yeah,
I let him know where I need to improve, and it's good whiskey.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where I feel like we try to be different. Like we have no ego behind it. You know what I mean? Now it's funny because I do prefer my bourbon with a rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Traditionally, I'll drink neat for sure. Traditionally, that's just kind of how I like it. And this first batch, as you know, once you put a cube on it, it like opens up and becomes even something better, right? And Fred's critique was that it was a little grain forward on the front end. Some people might like that, some people don't. The more and more I drink it, I'm like, oh my goodness. And how that ended up happening, and this is why I love the complexity of high proof bourbon. And I'm speaking to the master over here, but how that happened was our wheated, so our what we were putting in for our wheat percentages and our blend had to get cut way down because when we pulled our wheat out of the barrel, it was only at like 107 or something like that, right? Like it had dropped. And so to try to hit that 122 proof was hard. We couldn't put as much wheat into it. So, obviously the more of the of our high rye and bourbon came to the forefront on that. And then but yeah, and that's the challenge when you're dealing with age stuff too, right? So we're a blend of an 8-year and a 13-year in this 122. And so trying to get that. Now we took those notes from Fred and we went back and we added, so now I'll have the samples of our 115, which we'll have coming out probably in, mid to late February. And so we're going to add a little more wheat to that, smooth that front end out a little bit, drop the proof down to 115. And man, I tell you what, it's insane. It's a lot of the same juice. It's still 8-year and 13-year. And the flavor profile is just, you know what I mean? So that's the cool part. That's what we love about it. We love actually, a lot of people don't want to hear feedback. I take feedback as good coaching, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've given feedback to distillers over the years, and sometimes they ignore me and they never call me back, and they stop sending me samples, and it's.
Well, I have like a whole gift bag ready for you. I'm just waiting for these. We got a little deal going with like Pelican. So for our special guests,
the Pelican cases,
right?
Dude, that's
and
cool.
So we got a whole cool kit going out, and I actually have a call about that this afternoon. But so I've just been waiting for those to get here. So you got some more coming to you.
I love it.
We'll get some Pelican cases. But yeah, we really want to keep this, like when we say small batch, like that's what we're about, right? We're not here to try to. Because listen, the reality is people are actually drinking less, and we're not promoting, going to the club and taking shots like we've always talked about. Like our consumers are like, I remember when we were drinking, we were tasting bourbon. You said you go from a drinker to a taster, right? And there's something about, sitting down and having a really good quality drink at the end of the day or whatever it is you're celebrating, right? One or two, and then you got things to do. So we're not. we're not in the business of trying to just case volume. We just want to put quality product out that people will enjoy, and that they feel like, what, this is it's worth it. I'm not gonna lie, it's not cheap, but good things really are. And we're just kind of along for the journey. So we welcome the feedback, we welcome criticism, because we know at the end of the day, our base products are, we put a lot of time and energy and effort to make sure we're getting quality juice, and but I'm not an expert. So if an expert palate tells me, hey, you could do this, tweak it can make it better, heck yeah, let's.
Well, get ready, y'all, because it's going to be a good one, and more details to come. And make sure, what's the website they can go to?
FullRideBourbon.com.
All right, just go there right now, sign up for it, and so you're the first to know.
And I tell you what, you got to give me a little teaser here. You don't have to tell me where it's at. Give me like on your 100 list. Give me a surprise.
All right.
And give me a true, like, man, this company is still killing it.
All right, so a big surprise I think will be for everyone is a new brand out there called Jackson Purchase. It's a company that is founded by former Heaven Hill master distiller Craig Beam, who's the son of Parker Beam. I'm really high on them. They're probably not going to finish high on the list, but it's their first release, and I think it's something that excites me a lot. So this list is about like what excites me. And I'll tell you, like, I hate to say it, but Buffalo Trace does it again with George T. Stagg. George T. Stagg is so good this year.
Is it not so good?
It's so good.
What is it about, like, that? So, because Buffalo Trace has so many brands, right?
Yeah.
Why does the Stagg just keep crushing it?
It just hits the right age. It's the right mash bill, right proof. It hits it checks all of them, and it's never over oaked. Like the Wellers are always hit and miss. Like I don't know what goes on with Buffalo Trace's like weeded bourbon process, but it's not as good for me consistently as the rye.
But
the ones with rye in it.
I always laugh because I always feel like anybody that says they're like, oh Weller, you just get this Weller. I'm like, rookie. Yeah. Weller's just such an easy one to throw out there.
Yeah, it is. Or Blanton's.
Don't even get me started. Don't get me started on the B bourbons. And I like them. I'm not saying I don't like them, but I'm just saying. But dude, I'm glad you brought the Stagg. Now do you like the Stagg Juniors?
I love Stagg Juniors, yeah, but they are not on the list. They didn't make the list.
Okay, but you're right. I'll look at my cabinet sometimes and I'm like, you know what? I feel like I'm cheating on my own brand, but that Stagg is so good.
That's so good.
Matter of fact, I literally never mind. It got replaced. I was just saying, there's a bottle of Full Ride.
But you've got to cheat on your brand. That's how you keep your palate in check, so you don't become a house taster.
Yeah, you know what? That's awesome. I'm a big Stagg guy. I don't know how Buffalo Trace does it. I mean, clearly they're masters at it, but I'm always curious when people got so many SKUs, right? How one particular one can be so good. I say the same thing about Elijah Craig. To me, Elijah Craig is just this tried and true, just staple. And their 18 year is one of my favorites, honestly. That's a good one. And then you can't go wrong with, now who makes Old Forester?
That's Brown Forman.
Brown Forman. That's what it is. I didn't say with him, but the Old Forester 1920 is.
It's on the list.
Pretty solid. Pretty solid as well.
It's my best everyday bourbon.
I'm just, right? I agree. Yeah. And I'm like, but I wonder, it's like, how do they have all this stuff from 1920?
Well, they get cute with the marketing. That's bourbon for you. Kind of like a Full Ride.
Yeah, Full Ride.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tell a friend. Give us a review. 5 stars only, please. And subscribe. And we'll see you next week. Cheers.